Welcome to another Witchy Wednesday. In this video, I wanted to quiet the mind a bit and have you join me as I paint the year ahead spread in the Writual Planner. I admittedly don't get a chance to paint like I used to, and when I saw this planner, I knew I wanted to put my creativity to its pages. If you have purchased the planner using my link, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that you're getting all that you need from it, just like I am. I encourage those who have the planner to take the time in creating something beautiful. Make your yearly spread something that is useful and one that you can be proud of. For now, grab yourself a warm, comfy beverage and let's plan. Okay, so now that we have done our page, I put a little bit of gloss on it so there's like a difference you can see in the artwork. It's really, I love how this came out. So it got a little like wavy, but once it completely dries and I can put something heavy on it, it'll flatten right back out. So if you are painting this page, just know that, look at that. It didn't really bleed onto the other side. And you can even put like wax paper and iron this page super flat, but I love how this came out. So let's go ahead and do our year ahead spread. So something to note before you even dive into doing any type of reading, especially if you're doing like a year ahead spread, make sure that what we're doing now, and I've already done this like off camera, but make sure that you are definitely casting a circle of protection. You're using some type of cleansing spray. I have my cleansing spray here from the apothecary. I'll have that link below if you're interested in this. This one is the Protect and Unlock. I've used this spray purposely because it like opens pathways, it removes blockages. It's all about the opportunity. Not exactly like a road opener, but a little bit. But it's really meant to just clear the path, right? And especially if you have blockages that you haven't like cut yet and things like that, or any of your chakras are blocked, this spray definitely helps. So this is what I'm going to be using. But first and foremost, definitely cast a circle of protection while you're doing this work. And before you start pulling cards and things like that, just meditate. Meditate on how you envision your year to be, right? Envision your goals, your aspirations, everything like that. Get into a calm state and have some of your incense that you burn when you are doing work, so that way you're super focused. I like to kind of wear special clothing to anything that kind of gets you in the mood to work. I highly suggest, because this is a pretty serious spread, right? And it's not like a 3-card spread. It's not like a daily thing. It's your year, and you want it to be as accurate, as protective as possible. And to make sure your cards are cleansed, you can cleanse that through spray again. You can cleanse that through smoke. You can cleanse it through putting it under one of your favorite full moons, like the snow moon that we're having in February and things like that. Lots of different ways to cleanse. But make sure that you're doing that work so that your reading is as accurate as can be. Okay, so I'm going to take the spray. This one, I think for myself, I like to put black onyx. This one is just my personal one. And I just give it a spritz. I give the box a spritz. I give the pages a spritz. You know, I've already done the circle casting. I've already done my meditations. And then this is a Rhiannon box that my husband gifted me. And then in this box, I just have like the goddess cards. I love pulling these goddess guidance cards. If you've never worked with these before, these are awesome. This is what the back looks like. Beautifully gilded. This is what the card looks like. I think I might want to pull a goddess card for the energy of the year. Right? You see how there's like an energy of the year here and your year ahead. So obviously I'm going to be working with Rhiannon. She's my matron, but I kind of want to pull a goddess card and see how that energy is. I don't know if I can, I don't know. We'll just kind of like go with it and see how I feel after the spread. But what I do want to use for the year spread, hands down, is my favorite deck, is the Pagan Tarot. So I've done a full in-depth, it's so in-depth, it's a two-part video. I absolutely, hands down, to this day, years later, this is my number one most used, loved, my just adored deck. And it's purely because, you know, it really, in those videos, you'll see that the essence of the card is really to show the Fool is a woman, and her journey, right, throughout the cards is her life as mundane and as a magical being. So through the cards and their meanings, you can see like the struggles and the achievements that this woman has between her family and her coven. And that really hits home for me because sometimes there's a different pull, you know, especially with people believing in different things. And it just is so, so relevant to my life. So if you are practicing in the coven, or if you are doing like even wanting to get into covenship, the story of these cards, it's so, so well done. Yeah, so you could check out, I'll leave that video, I'll leave both of those videos below, the Pagan Tarot. So this is a pouch that I got. This is her kind of doing the drawing down the moon, which is one of the things that I love to do. And before we do the spread, make sure that your cards are really thoroughly shuffled. So you might want to riffle shuffle, you might want to do one of these. You might want to, sometimes what I like to do is just put them out one by one, you know, like this, and then put them on top of each other, do a bunch of different rows, and then once you're done, you kind of collect them all and then riffle shuffle. You know, take the time to do all the cards that way, so that way they are like super, super shuffled. I've already done that off camera, but make sure that your cards are definitely not going to give you the same suits or the same numbers. Once that happens, I would stop and spray and start again, and, you know, shuffle them and start again. And once you're seeing that you're getting like multiple of the suits, maybe numbers in a row, it's not a good sign. So I keep this deck in this box along with the crystal that I always change and the Goddess Oracle, because I've just been liking working with these two together. So I'm gonna just give it another spray. Give that another spray, and then we should be good to go. So here is my year ahead spread with the Pagan Tarot deck. Okay, so this deck, or this spread, I'm gonna do it the same format as how they have it here. So, starting in January, February, March, I'm gonna spread them this way. I'm not gonna do a different type of actual spread. I'm going to follow the spread that's here. So we'll do January, February, March coming down, April, May, June also coming down, and then ascending back up, which I kind of wish it was the other way around, because after December, we're going into the lighter half of the year. So lighter half was always, to me, is ascending, right? It would have been nice if December was here and we would go into the lighter half of the year, and then coming into mid-year, and then, where Letha is, and then coming back down. That would have been a little bit of a change, because to go down and descend when we're getting more light, we are getting more sun energy, just doesn't make sense in my mind. But nonetheless, we're going to follow this path. Okay, so for the January position, we have the Sylph. Beautiful, beautiful first card for January. So I'm going to really speak very generically about these cards. I'm not going to get too into it. Again, I want to focus and make sure that I journal per month instead of writing, all of the meanings and how I'm feeling. I think for now we'll just write down the card, and then at the beginning of each month we'll take some time to, really look at the card. Then we can journal the beginning of the month, like how we want this card to affect us, and then take a minute at the end of the month to see, if it panned out that way. So, but for right now, I kind of just want to get a sense of what the year has for me, and without getting into the details. But the Sylph is just beautiful, right? Like, this is kind of like a perfect card for January. So this one is all about air, all about that mentality, all about using, your thoughts and your actions to inspire. So the Sylph is all about inspiring people, and being that vessel for people to have motivation, and being carried by the winds, and being adaptable to change and things like that. Really, really beautiful card. So I'll definitely take that for January. If you haven't followed me on ForestandFawn, that is the channel's Instagram. And then I, of course, have JC's Apothecary Instagram, and I'm always making things and doing reels and teaching, and that's been a little bit easier to run that platform instead of doing YouTube videos and editing. But I want to continuously inspire, create products that people can use, and be a better magician. So I think that setting the tone in January is perfect. So then you have for February the Novice of Pentacles. So this is what they use for their court cards. And the Novice is really like a beginning practitioner. So again, I won't go into the nitty gritty, but this is really a Pentacle Earth sign, as I am. This is really telling me to kind of get back into the basics, which is kind of like what I want to do, like just look at the channel, look at what you guys are really looking for, and get back to kind of like how the channel used to be, more crafts, grimoire tours, and things like that. Still want to push a lot of Witchy Mama content out. I'll be doing my hospital bag after this. So it's just bringing back to basics. What do I want to do with my practice, with my shops, with my channel, and kind of just journal on that, right? Perfect. So then we have the Four of Wands. So this is in the March spot. So really, really nice. You have like the coven members here. So this person, is either being initiated or they're, participating in awakening and things like that. But you can see like all the elements here. So like the blue, red, green, yellow, all working together with their wands, in this celebratory moment. So really, really good for March. So I'm going to look forward to kind of digging into that for the month. And then April is the Hermit card. Love this Hermit card. Hermit is actually my birth card, so it's interesting that I'm having it in April. So kind of the spread is already like jiving with me and making sense. So the Hermit in April, definitely I love when the Hermit card comes up because it's a gentle reminder to, slow down and do more reading, do more studying, do less sharing and more introspective work. You see here that she's like kind of like in her home and with like, dozens of books, and like having nights like this makes me really, really happy when I can just do research and I can learn new things. So maybe that's something I can treat myself with in the month of April for my birthday. That would be really, really nice. In the May spot, the High Priestess. Really interesting. So I love this High Priestess card. So this is the High Priestess, obviously running their ritual. And then you have the guides on the top here. So love this. Maybe in May, we'll see how things go. But, the High Priestess is maybe to do some more work. And my second boy will be a little bit older here. So maybe this is telling me to take more of the High Priestess route and start to involve him like I do with Jackson. All right, and then June, we have the Wheel. Really, really cool. So this is the wheel. She's looking at an astrological wheel. In the review, I kind of go all throughout. There's a lot of little eggs in here that if you really pick it apart, it's just so beautiful. She's not just looking at a pie. This is an astrological chart. So, just looking at everything as a whole and seeing, June. So I think now June is midsummer, I believe, is in June. So that will make sense to kind of like reevaluate halfway. And then July, we have the Magician. Very awesome. Drawing down the moon, which I absolutely love to do. Okay, the Eight of Wands in August. So that's Eight of Wands, definitely if you see here, there's some wands here, and then she's looking at her bills and just checking out, like, what can she do? It's funny because in May, we want to, we were looking to sell our home and go into something bigger. So it's funny that I have High Priestess. I have the chart for a little bit more organization. So after... in May, this is when I would use a chart. In June, the Magician, right? I'm getting all my tools, getting everything ready for the move. And then in August, this was July. In August, I have Jackson's birthday, so we're gonna try to figure out, like, it's always a rough time around the boys' birthdays because a lot of money's involved in cakes and catering and things like that. So with a new home, I see new bills and stuff like that. So that's a good sign. It's a really, really good sign for me. Okay, and then September. I love the Seven of Cups energy for September. Lots of possibilities, lots of opportunities. And in September, my shop starts kicking up again because people are interested in Samhain and Mabon and all the kind of harvesting things. So maybe, this is a good fortune for me for my shop. All of this is speculation. I'm just kind of reading the cards at this point. Whole thing may shift depending on what happens during the year, and we'll kind of go through that together. Right, so in October's spot is pretty interesting because we have the Four of Swords, so there's definitely something that's on my mind. There's a problem that we're facing, so these are like could be potential issues. The sword that she's holding is the problem that she has on hand. So, I'm definitely going to look, astrological wise, like why I would be maybe having some turmoil. Maybe there's some issues that I'll be having, some anxieties about something. So now that I know that this is in the October spot, I can work towards like, all right, seeing how, August, September has led to this and see how my year is going. That's why the year spread is so beneficial. And then interesting. These three are very interesting for going into Yule in the darker half of the year. So we have potential issues arising in October. Then we have the Eight of Swords, right? Which we really know it's about just feeling stuck. But if you can really dig deep and follow your heart and follow your intuition, you can see that there is a path there, and you have support from either your coven members or people or friends and family who understand the practice, to kind of help you with that along. But I can see that there is a potential issue happening. And I just have to make sure that I know within myself that I can really rectify the situation, come to an understanding, just basically resolve, right? And then once I resolve in December, I love this Hangman card in this deck. So this is after initiation. She's, blindfolded, and then you can see like the coven members waiting for her here. So now she has unfolded her thoughts and her mindset of her everyday mundane world, and now is entering a new light, a new thought process, a new way of seeing the world through magic. So that's over here. So it's really kind of like with these 3 months, it's an issue, it's a resolve, and then it's a reawakening of whatever is happening. So really, really awesome way to wrap up the year, right? It's always nice around December to kind of see how you have seen things differently, right? Like, I think that's the point of like how our wheel just works. So if you go from just these two next to each other, so if you go from the Hangman to the Sylph is all about inspiration, it's all about freeness, it's all about where the wind takes you. So this is a very almost like a Fool's card, right, in the beginning of January, which is perfect, which is what you want, because you want the year to be full of opportunity, newness, and things that you learn. So, and then how we end with the Hanged Man, where you see things differently, or if you've learned things throughout the wheel, that's kind of a really, really good placement of these two. So, but yeah, so all in all, I think this is a really good telling of the year. How I'm going to wrap this up and how I think I'm going to do this is that I'm going to take pictures of each one of these cards. I'm going to, and I'll show you, and I'm going to measure these squares that they have here. I think this is probably an inch, like 1.5 inches by an inch. I'm not too sure. I could be way off. And then I'll take a picture of these cards, make them smaller in Word, print them out, and then just kind of do like a glue stick or maybe double-sided tape to put the cards in each one, because I like the stamp idea. I'm going to definitely get the stamp. I think I'm going to offer some stickers of the Writual Smith in my shop for the planner, but I wanted the year ahead to have these exact cards, because this deck is not like your typical deck. That's the year ahead. Let's do some of the crafting to make it make sense in this page, and then that will be it.